Boys and girls, cats and squirrels, welcome back to Tuesday Touchdown Talks. And today I have some very unfortunate news, so stay tuned for that. And make sure to like and sub, leave a comment down below if you enjoy the video. But let's get it off started by saying I lost to my dad in fantasy this week. But it wasn't like he blew me out the water. I would have been fine with that. No. By 0.14 points. 0.14. Literally a yard and a half. That's it. That's all I gotta say. I'm very salty right now. I don't have the words still. This happened last night, and I don't have the words to express how mad I am. Anyways, let's start talking football with the Raiders-Chargers game, which in fact was an absolute demolishment. I mean, the Chargers just 3 times less score than the Raiders. That's all I gotta say. 63 by the Raiders. By the way, these two 70-point performance and 63-point performance by the Dolphins and Raiders were both against AFC West teams, I'll just have you remember. Anyways, let's get to Jake Browning making a comeback effort and beating out the Minnesota Schmeikings and Nick Mullins, who unfortunately are still better in record than the Packers and in better playoff contention. Yay. The Jake Browning comeback victory in overtime was absolutely absurd to watch the end of that game. I was just hoping and praying that Minnesota would lose, and they did. And still have a better record than my Packers. So, anyways, next game, Colts Steelers, nothing really to talk about there. The better team won, basically. I never doubted for a second that the Colts were going to win that game. Well, yeah, not really. The Colts just were the better team. They just are. Minshew Mania deserves its hype again. It really does. like truly, Minshew Mania. And then another demolishment, the Lions-Broncos game. The Broncos, what happened? Broncos losing by 25. I mean, if you're a Broncos fan, you just gotta cry. Just cry yourself to sleep. Just cry. That's all you got. I mean, truly, there's nothing you can say there that can make a Broncos fan happy. Lions fans are definitely happy, though, because they saw their team actually beat a good team for once. Or a mediocre team, rather. You know, that wasn't the Chiefs that are mediocre as well. Anyways, they looked good. That's all that really matters. Saints, Giants, Tommy DeVito, his run is officially over in my eyes. I don't think he's going to do good again. I think defenses have already started to figure him out. His 2 weeks of fame are done. He is not a franchise QB, guys. He just never was going to be. That's the reason why he wasn't a big name in college. At Syracuse or Idaho, something like that. I want to say it was Syracuse. It was an orange college. I have an actual college card of him. Kind of funny. I just got it the other day. Not on purpose, but I did. And then Saints, Derek Carr looked really good. That's all that really matters to them. I mean, realistically, he looks good. They do good. Browns, Bears. The Bears threw the game. This game was on simultaneously, basically, with the Packer game. And I saw, a tweet from some random guy who was like, notice how Luke Getzey's play calling got significantly worse after the Packers lost. Bears are obviously throwing, and Luke Getzey is an insider for the Packers. I assume that was meant as a joke, but at the same time, you can never know. I thought it was funny, personally. I don't know if everyone else did, but I thought that was funny. Also, they have a worse record than the Packers, and that's all I personally care about. Realistically, they should be a worse team than the Packers, and they're not actually worse by much. So I'm concerned by that slightly. And then Joe Flacco basically just crapped himself in the first half at least. I don't even know who won the game. Like, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it was Joe Flacco. I don't think he was in. But it don't matter because they won. Then the Falcons lost to the Panthers. Bryce Young won. That's simple as that. I don't know what to say, man. That was a terrible game. 7-9. That's terrible. Buccaneers Packers, though, that was a fun game to watch. Objectively, subjectively, from my personal standpoint as a Packers fan, I want to cry and kick and scream and fire the defensive coordinator, like I have said the past couple of years. I can't even remember bro's name right now. I don't know why, but he's terrible. Let up the only perfect passer rating ever at Lambeau Field. And it was by Baker Mayfield. That's where it hurts the most, because it was Baker Mayfield slicing and dicing the defense. Get him out. Just kick him out. Just now, leave him in the dust. He's too bad for us. I mean, Jordan Love didn't look bad necessarily. Well, I mean, he didn't look great, to be fair, but he didn't look bad. Didn't look great, though. And then the Dolphins shut out the Jets. Zach Wilson was hurt, and the Jets had no hope after that. Realistically, he was their only hope they had, which is surprising to say they had any hope at all, and that it was Zach Wilson. But he was their only hope, because last week he gave them 30 points or so, which is actually absurd that he even did that once this year. Other than the fact that I believe he did beat the Eagles, so I guess he's technically still their only hope. But he went out with a head injury. Unfortunate. Dolphins, no hill, no problem. Basically, that's it. Chiefs, Patriots. I think the lesson to learn there is that the Chiefs are way worse than we expect. Like, way worse. Mahomes threw 2 picks against the Patriots. They have been so terrible this year. I understand their defense hasn't been necessarily bad, but it hasn't looked great. Their whole system, their whole organization has just looked flawed this year. And you're telling me that you're going to throw 2 picks and only win by 10 and give up 17 points to the Bailey Zappi Patriots? Basically gave them a chance to win the game? I don't like that. In other words, Bill Belichick might have saved his job with the Patriots, but I doubt that still. I don't know. I think they want to hold on to him, but it's getting really hard for them to do that. Then the Texans-Titans game. An overtime win for Case Keenum, I think it was? I want to say that's who won the game for the Texans. I don't really know, though, because it was irrelevant. All that matters is that Will Levis, the Mayo lover himself, lost. That's it. Also, Derrick Henry went for 5 points only. You know, if he had went for 5.2, I would have won my fantasy game. Oh, I'm so happy about that. 49ers then continued to dominate, and honestly, their defense didn't look as good as you would have hoped against the Cardinals team, who has not been good all year. But Kyler Murray is rallying the troops, and honestly, they don't look terrible. Don't look terrible. Whereas the Commanders have looked terrible 90% of the year. Although they did make a comeback effort to try and beat the Rams, but Matt Stafford stomped their hearts out at the last second. And Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and Kyren Williams all just, did their thing, won the game, and that's really all that mattered for them. They didn't care how they did it. They just got it done. And 28-20, I mean, it doesn't look great for them, but still got it done. So that's awesome. Because at the same time, the Cowboys continued to suck booty cheeks and lose to the Bills. Because the Cowboys are always going to throw in the biggest spotlight. That's just the way they roll. 10-31. Had zero offense going, basically, the whole game. Whereas the Bills seem to find what looks like their formula to win. But then again, James Cook might not go for 36 fantasy points via 200, rushing yards every day. So that's probably not going to happen. Ravens then continued to beat up on their scheduled opponents. The Jaguars were unfortunately their next one. And, yup, they dominated them. 23-7. It was that simple. Really, that simple. Dominated them. And then the Eagles threw to the Seahawks. Drew Lock has decided that he's going to be good in the league. And he looks good. Seahawks looked good, and the Eagles looked bad. Eagles did not look good at all. They looked like a sloppy, terribly run, no offense, like, identity team. And that's what they've kind of been all year. But it looks worse now than ever. So, I don't know. It doesn't look good for them. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. So make sure to like, sub, leave a comment down below. And as always, don't forget to be a goat. And let's get, going to 500 now, I guess. That's our next milestone, guys. So we're getting there. Thanks so much for the love and support recently. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.